Hey Trent, how you doing?
Hey Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. It's a beautiful day, and even if it wasn't, I'd say it was.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, we have all our nice artificial light and all that in here.
Yeah,
so...
we actually have windows that I can kind of see out of too. iHeartRadio right over there, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's right over there. I think it's that one.
Do they broadcast right from that building, do you think?
I don't know. I imagine it's the little minions at work that, kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like the little Oompa Loompas doing their things. So that's the iHeart portion I see over there. I don't know. I could be entirely wrong. It's just that's what I picture in my head.
Well, I think they'd be in the right business for a lot of singing then, if that was the case.
A lot of singing?
Well,
that
singing
makes sense, actually.
Oompa Loompas are, famous for singing. Oompa Loompa, Oompa Dee Doo.
Yeah, I'm going to be singing that the rest of the day. Thanks.
Yeah. We produce a station for you.
Gosh, dude. That's on the spot. Okay, that was not rehearsed.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't do this type of music. Maybe he does. Do you do this type of music making as a hobby? Like when you go home?
No.
Okay.
No.
So this is all natural. You're seeing it live.
Natural.
So
yeah.
Did you see that Florida's looking to get rid of property taxes? Did you hear about that?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Governor DeSantis, he signed it and approved it and agrees on it.
Cool.
And, yeah, I mean, I was looking at it the other day. Like I got this article pulled up here, but I mean, basically, if the plan is successful, Florida would become the first state in the nation to eliminate property taxes.
Where would they make up the rest of the money, though?
Yes. So opponents of the move, though, point out that taxes primarily revenue streams for local governments. So we're talking county and city municipalities that are that's where the property taxes go. So it's not really like, even though we look at it as a state tax, it's not really a state tax, it's a local tax.
Oh.
So there is some hiccups and whatnot. But the idea is if you raise the sales tax a little bit, rich people disproportionately spend, they buy more.
Yeah.
That you would be able to take some of those. And I agree. I believe in consumption tax, so a sales tax or something. So if you raise that a little bit, you get your taxes out that way rather than on property taxes, which I completely agree with because I think property taxes are probably one of the worst ones. Fixed income people, they struggle. And every year they can go up as much. If you're a Florida resident the year before, they can go up as much as 3%, and they typically do.
Yep, they're like, yeah, time to hit you with more.
So exactly. So I think eliminating that would be a huge thing. I mean, honestly, like income tax, all that stuff is so confusing. Having the IRS, there's no reason we should have a tax system that is so complicated where the government's like, hey, you know what? Why don't you try to figure out your taxes? And if you're wrong, we're going to fine you or put you in jail.
Yeah. But that just tells me you already know the answer. Why are you bothering me about this? Like, if you already know the answer, what I owe.
Exactly.
Then.
But if they simplified it, if they just made like flat taxes or consumption taxes, or they just simplified it, we wouldn't need the IRS. We wouldn't need any of that stuff because it's ledger based. And so if anything, if people aren't paying their taxes, you send the police in or something. You don't need the IRS,
Don't need them. Got local law enforcement to
exactly. But I mean, that makes more sense to me. So, and on a local level, you can make it more hyper-focused. So granted, states decide what, what the overall state taxes are, the property taxes, but each individual county will have certain mills that they apply to it. Each local district will have certain mills that they apply to it. So it's different in every area anyways, like property taxes are. You could do the same thing with sales tax. In fact, a lot of states do it that way.
Yeah, I've seen that. I know it was huge in like Illinois, especially like not a smoker, but a lot of people who did smoke. If they were in like Cook County, they would take the time to go outside of Cook County, where Chicago's at, to go buy cigarettes because they were taxed so heavily in Cook County because of Chicago and so many people buying them there. They just went outside Cook County to buy their cigarettes to save a bunch of money.
And that makes you wonder if they lowered the taxes to have more people consume, whether they make more money in the end than just
make it up on volume.
Yeah, make it up on volume. I mean, that's what we believe in.
Right.
Like our clients, we don't want to make a killing off of each one. We want the volume. We want to work with a lot of people, a lot of transactions, you know, because we make more money even though we're making less on each transaction if we can get more transactions. And I always just think that's a bigger win for everybody.
I think so too, right? Then you have more people who are buying homes, more people who are, you know, getting what they need.
More satisfied clients
more
to refer.
Satisfied clients, yeah. More happy people.
I mean, when you're in a business where ideally most of your clients are going to be referral based anyways, you would think, hey, let me make sure every transaction is optimized, you know, that they're taken care of, and that so they refer me again because
exactly. I mean, honestly, I was talking with John Modwick, our CEO here at Mpire, and he's like, you know, the biggest thing that you can do is just make this an easy process.
Yeah.
Like, you need us. You need your agent, you need your lender to take and help make this as smooth a process as possible. It's going to suck. We're going to ask you for documents. You're going to ask you the documents for a couple of different times. You're paying a bunch of money for something. But our goal is customer service.
Yes. I think that's huge. And I think that's the difference between a broker and a retail lender too, because usually retail lenders, you can't get a hold of them nights and weekends or anything.
No.
And when are realtors working? Nights and weekends. That's when we want our pre-approval letters.
Yeah.
So if you're a lender and you're not working those, like I'm sorry, you know, I'm a lender too, so I'm always trying to get business. But before I got my LO license, I would talk people out of retail lenders because I'm like, listen, when we write an offer, I'm going to want to be able to get a letter whenever we want. You know, I'm going to want to make sure that I can get a hold of your lender whenever I want.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult if you don't go with somebody that's willing to do that, you know.
Exactly. What if I let you in on a secret?
Okay.
Too.
Yeah.
So
hold on, guys. This is going to be good.
You know, one of my things is I don't like to work Sundays because that's my family time. A little bit of recharge. So using the systems that we have in place here at Mpire, our operating system allows us to add our realtor partners to the file. So if I've pre-approved your client and I give you access to that file, I will set the limit. Say, hey, you know, Joe Schmo here, he can't go more than 500,000. I can set the limit, and then you can go in even on a Sunday and just say, all right, actually we want to do 480. I'm gonna grab a new pre-approved lender myself and send that out. You don't even need me.
Yeah, I know that's true.
I can make it nice and smooth. So if you're like, hey, and then if anything, you just reconnect with me Monday morning. Oh, Trent, we put in this offer. We're good to go.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's time saving. And realtors, we do like to have somewhat of a control because, you know, we were writing offers up at like 8 o'clock last night and, you know, and stuff. And it's like that type of stuff, just, it happens. And not everybody's working at that time. And you just, but you want to be able to complete your task.
Right. Exactly.
So,
hey, I need this guy. What if, you know, what if I was in the middle of like bat time with Arjun? Now it's like, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot answer the phone, watch it, you know, like this. But no, we can definitely do that. It makes it really easy. And that's the thing too. Like we give the access to people that we trust and say, hey, go in, you can change this. You can't go above. Like, guess what? I got a pre-approval letter for 600,000. We're making it work.
1.6 million. We got this.
Your pre-approval letter says it. Yep, everything's fine.
I can print whatever pre-approval I want.
Yeah.
That's the power. Just call me the Fed. So, but yeah, I mean, that is a huge benefit, you know, to having a broker, an available broker.
Yeah.
So
likes to utilize technology to make your life easier too.
Yeah, which I know a lot of us are really apprehensive of technology. It's not that we're apprehensive, it's just that there's so much that gets thrown at us at once. It's like, what do we really need to learn and what's going to really help us out? You know?
Yeah. What is promoting my business? What is making me better for my business? I think it's the biggest thing that people are like, oh, technology is going to put you out of business. The robots will take over, the AI. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's the agents and lenders that adopt technology in the right places that are going to outperform you.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. It's how you use it. And knowing what to use and when, because you hit it on the head with the AI thing. Like everybody's like, you got to use AI. And it's like, how? What tasks
Yeah.
am I like trying to use AI for? Like, how do you optimize AI to really, benefit your business?
Right. Whether I think it's a lot of it is just simplifying the things that you took a lot of time on. Like I like doing videos, so I'll use it to write scripts. I fine tune it to make sure it sounds like me, although it is getting a little bit better at what I like. It'll ask me questions, which
Right.
is cool.
Well, once you do enough scripts too, it starts to learn your type of personality. If you adjust them in a lot of those AI, they'll figure out how you like to talk and.
Yeah, I have mine give me quizzes on myself. I'll ask it like, "Hey, ask me some questions that you need to know to make the script sound more organically like me." And it'll ask me a couple questions, and it's like, "Do you want to be, add some humor? Do you want to be straightforward all the time?" And I'm like, "Oh no, we can be casual and add some humor in there."
What I found that at the end, like if you got a pretty darn good script, you should always ask it, is this really the best script? And it will always fine tune a few things and make it just a little bit better.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah. I don't.
Really the best you can do?
Yeah. And they always do it a little bit better. And you're just like, you were holding out.
You were holding back on me.
Are you still holding out? How many times do I have to ask this to get
we got to go 7 layers deep to find it. It's like, no, I can't do any better on this one.
But 7 layers deep. I mean, you're just like, wow, that is, that's Shakespeare right there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it comes out like Shakespeare.
I probably could.
It's like,
do my next one in a sonnet.
Yeah. I like saying it's one thing. Me picturing you actually reading a sonnet was what got me laughing.
I need this in what is it? Iambic pentameter. I butchered that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the rhythm. There's like the or something like that. That sonnets are also supposed to have. It's like 14 lines, and then like iambic pentameter. I think that it's supposed to be the cadence with the symbols.
Wow. I will say music is one of my things. We could talk sports and I'll be able to keep up pretty good. You start talking music.
Yeah.
I just like, that's one of those where I'm just blank staring.
I'm
like, oh boy, I don't know what I got myself into on this one.
What music do you listen to?
Christian.
Music,
yeah. I don't really, I used to listen to a lot of stuff. I mean, I would say, my high school years and stuff, I really liked, Bob Marley, and my favorite artist was Ben Harper, but I was a bit of a kind of a hippie kid, and I listened to mostly that type of stuff. But now that I'm older, I don't really know any of the new artists. Don't
even need them. They don't make good music anymore.
The typical old guy now. So I turn on the Christian radio station. It's what I hear at church. It's what I like listening to, and it's just. But realistically, when I'm driving, I don't really listen to music. I listen to podcasts, book on tape, things like that, motivational speeches and stuff. So I don't listen to that type of stuff. I like information. That is what engages me.
Yeah, I agree. I've drifted away from listening to more music when I drive. Sometimes it just suits the mood, but other times I feel like I get more of an absorption from an audiobook, from a podcast when I'm listening to it as I'm driving, doing tasks like that or cutting the grass. It's the best time to listen to podcasts and audiobooks.
I would completely agree with that. It's one of my favorite times because it's just so peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't even like mowing the lawn, but it takes me about an hour and I get an hour of peace where I just listen to whatever I want and I'm just going along.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
So, but I do find like I get excited to like drive home or drive someplace. I'm like, I'm going to listen to this podcast. I got it. And then I spend the whole time on the phone.
Oh, yep.
It's like...
I've done that one. I've left the office to go to my home office and I'm like, oh, I'm on the phone the entire time. And I'm like, I'll get to that podcast later. Yeah.
With being an LO and a realtor, and I'm sure just, as an LO in general, you get phone calls all the time. Like if it's one thing I could give up, it's my phone. Like, I mean, I can't because of my business and stuff, but it's one of those things where I'm completely glued to 24/7, weekends, nights, and it's just, it's one of those things where I feel that's the ball and chain right there. My phone. And so I'm like, man, now you do a good job on Sundays and stuff as a realtor. I'm going to get there. I'm just not there yet. And we go to church on Sundays, and then we pretty much work every Sunday after church. And so come in March, we'll be serving in the children ministry. So I do 4th, 5th grade. So we'll be doing that from our morning service, and then we'll be going to the second service but then it literally, we'll get out at like 12, get home about 12:30. We'll be at work, by 1 and stuff. And I would like for that to end. Sundays, I would like, I'm with you. Like, I would like to just eventually call that day a family day.
Yeah.
But financially, I feel like we're on the precipice of
growth.
Yeah. Of just kind of being there. So, got to get over the hill.
It is good to like figure out a way to like design it out though, because like, honestly, people like to work with people who have these values. I mean, do you think your clients have family values?
Absolutely.
Do you think that, they'd be okay with you interrupting
Yes.
family dinner to be like, hey, I need you to sign off on this offer right now?
Yeah. No, it's actually very important that you humanize yourself with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And you tell them, and it's good ahead of time to set the standards, So I tell people, I like, my phone, you're more than welcome to call me as late as you want. I'm not going to pick up past 8. It just, it goes on silent mode, and I don't call or text after that. So you're more than welcome to call me, but you will not get a response.
Yeah.
If you want a response, or if you send something at like 11 or 12 at night, I might reply at 4 a.m. That's when I get up. So, so be prepared if you're not ready to.
I've done that too. Somebody's like hit me up with all this information at like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, well, when I'm up at my time, I'm like, and replying. So it's your responsibility to have your phone on Do Not Disturb for the times you don't want it to go off.
Exactly.
So
people they're usually pretty impressed though. They're like, I send out a lot of emails in the morning, and they're like, you were emailing me at 4:45 in the morning? It's the easiest time just to reply and get going. So.
What's it called? It's like the deep work time, so you can like capitalize on. There's nobody else that it's going to be bothering you because everyone else is sleeping.
Yeah,
you just knock out your task and then be like, all right, now start the day.
Yeah, that's literally it. Because when I get to working that early, I've done more before like 8 or 9 o'clock than most people have done at noon. And so by like 3. I feel pretty darn accomplished usually. Yeah. And I'm still working past that because that's when people want me to work.
Right.
But it is one of those things where I'm just like, I've already done so much. It's like,
yeah.
I do always have a good sense of accomplishment, I feel like. So, but that's that get up in the morning thing. I have FOMO with sleep. So I can't go back to sleep once I wake up in the morning, and I naturally wake up at 4. I feel like I'm missing out or on something. I can't explain it. That's the best explanation I can come up with. Yeah. Where like I just have to get up because I'm gonna miss out on the morning, miss out on the quiet, on the peace, miss out on whatever.
Right. You're gonna focus on things you need to get done.
So, are you more of a night person or a morning person?
I'm honestly more of, it's kind of like day, because like the way it's been kind of working lately is that like just trying to get to the sleep cycle of having a little one, and so like getting woken up throughout the night. And then just having to capitalize on as much sleep as I can get, and then like going about it that way. So I don't really have like, I don't do deep work at night. I don't really do it in the morning either. I have to just cram it in throughout the day, which is not the best. I mean, there was one time recently, I'm like, I need to work on this now because I don't have time tomorrow.
Right.
So I did like late night work. I think I'd probably rather, if there's something I need to get done, probably do it in the night, and then rather than wake up early and do it. Because the other side of it too is my wife's a light sleeper. So if my alarm goes off and I'm not naturally waking up, then now she's up. So I'm like, oops.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't set my alarm, so I don't worry about waking Jessica up. But I sneak out every morning. It's like I grab my shirt in the dark, I slip my sandals, there's like the slipper sandals on, and I just sneak out the room every morning.
Stealthy sneak out.
Yeah, and then it's like a pretty simple routine. I get up, I do my morning stuff, I feed the dogs, and I make my coffee. And that first cup of coffee, I usually have it about 4:20, 4:30 by the time I sit down and actually start sipping it. And it's about the best thing in the world, And then right now it's too cold to sit outside, but pretty soon it'll start getting lighter about, 5:30.
Yep.
And it's either that first cup or that second cup when I go outside and it's like 75 degrees or 78 degrees. And
that sounds nice.
yeah. And I'm just sitting outside and the sun's going, oh, I just love that. And even if I could just get 5-10 minutes just sitting out there before I go and do stuff, that's just something special.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the other thing too. I'm go throughout the day. So like Sundays are also the day that I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to sit in the sun, have my cup of coffee, and enjoy it for the, instead of like, all right, run, go. I'm usually like drinking it as I'm like, cooking my son's breakfast or something like that, or run out the door.
Yeah.
Driving on into work.
Yeah, that's the other thing, getting the kids ready in the morning. They're usually getting ready when I'm working out in the morning, so I kind of feel bad. But I get them up in the morning, and they get up at the same time Jessica's waking up. And so she gets up and has her coffee and kind of migrates to her living room space, and nobody bothers Mama the first 20 minutes in the morning while she's having her coffee. And I'm getting the kids ready, but then I start my workout. And in between my workout, I'll be brushing hair and doing different things with, the boys. The girls just take care of themselves now. They're 12 and 14. So, yeah. But, there's those routines where you're just, and then everything it just feels busy all the time. But it's a blessing. Yeah.
It's good to be busy.
Yeah. And, the thing too, especially about family, is the things that drive you nuts the most are the things you miss the most when they're not around. It's like you miss the chaos.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's the stuff you remember too. It's the good stuff. You ever seen the movie Good Will Hunting?
No, I never watched that one.
Oh, it's such a good movie. One of the best. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. That and Finding Forrester. But there's a part where Robin Williams is explaining what it is to be married, and he's like, because his wife passed away, and he's like, my wife, she used to just fart in the middle of the night, just in her sleep. And he's like, it was just so bad at the time, just so, he's like, but that's the stuff I miss now, not being woken up by that stuff. And it's like, the things you don't think are going to be the memories, those are the things you end up missing. Yeah. So it's just interesting because the kids and Jessica used to go away to, when we lived in Idaho, to Walla Walla for Christmas, and I'd always have to work, so I'd never get to go. And leading up to it, it would always be like, I'm going to look forward to these few days. It's going to be so peaceful. It's going to be so wonderful. I'm going to just get stuff done. It's going to be fantastic. And literally they go out of town and I'll get home from work and I'll be sitting around and so quiet. And I'm like, I guess I'll just go to bed now.
Yeah. Well, it's hard too, because I know I'm used to a routine, like sleeping. But like when I travel for like a conference or something like that, that's the worst time for me to fall asleep because I'm doom scrolling the most. I don't do it at home, but I doom scroll when I'm at conferences, stuff like that. So it just definitely mixes it up.
It's interesting how that works. I'm pretty much, the same way. I struggle sleeping when I'm out of my zone though. It's interesting, but I struggle sleeping in my zone, so it's...
What is sleep? We don't need that.
Well, I did read that, hey, as long as you're getting 2 hours of sleep, that if you can get into your REM cycle, because what happens even when people nap is you can be fine with a half-hour nap because you don't fully immerse yourself into sleep. Once you're past that half hour, if you wake up in 45 minutes or whatever, you end up with this groggy because you started your REM cycle, but you didn't complete it. So between that half hour and an hour and a half, it varies for people, but up to 2 hours, it can be one of those things where if you wake up, you're super groggy. Yeah. You need to either not go into that complete REM cycle that started or finish it. Yeah. So, anyway, so you could just nap I think there was Sir Isaac Newton did that, or somebody famous slept, maybe it was Einstein, I don't know, but slept they do naps.
Naps.
Yeah. So, and they said it was the most important thing. But anyways, really, I really wanted to talk a lot about property taxes today because of the DeSantis thing. And I do think that's a genius move. And we didn't talk about it as much as I expected to talk about it, because I had all this stuff in my head that I wanted to talk about. But,
we derailed it.
Yeah.
We'll get back to another one.
Well, I think this is that's the best part about this podcast is it just has a life of its own. It just goes. So I can't plan to talk about something. It's just not how it works. So,
sometimes we try and then it just goes the other way.
Exactly. But I had a good time today.
Yeah, me too.
So, and obviously we'll do it again. We'll catch you in the next video.
See you in the next one.
Thanks, Trent.
Thanks.